well, it's a nice sunny day, so I thought I would take this opportunity to head outside and show you a bit about where we live now in Japan. Also, it's a good chance to test my microphone and make sure it works, and get into the habit of doing little strolls on camera. Now this is Bentenjima. It's in the western part of Hamamatsu City in Shizuoka Prefecture. And I've been living here for about 3 years now. I've lived in a couple other places in Japan, but this is where Julie grew up. So that's where we decided to move. We're currently staying with Julie's family while we're preparing for our trip, so we don't have to pay so much in rent and worry about moving all our stuff later, which is pretty nice. Now, Bentenjima is a man-made island, and it was built quite a while ago, surprisingly. But it's still here and seems pretty good, but because it's a man-made island, it's pretty close to sea level. We're currently at about 1 meter above sea level. So if there's ever a tsunami or anything like that, it's a bit sketchy, but so far it hasn't been an issue. Ooh, and since we're right on the middle of the lake, Hamanako, it gets pretty windy. In exchange, we get some nice views of the water. This part of the island, it's actually a series of 4 or 5 separate little tiny islands. This part of the island is right along this channel that leads from the inlet of the lake all the way out to the rest of the lake. Julie and I, this weekend, we took a little tour around the lake to get some video and see some places that we haven't been before. So hopefully there's some good shots about that.
Where we live.
Sunny. We live right there. The lake here is technically brackish water. It's a mixture of salt water and fresh water. And I don't know how much you can see, but it is full of fish down there. And that means that fishermen come from basically all over this part of Japan just to come fishing right where we live. I tried my hand at it a few times, but not very good at it, so I gave up pretty quickly. But hopefully you can see there are quite a bit of fish in there. I bet you can see that. Look at all those fish. See if I can get a better shot. All of these behind me are, I believe, oyster farms, although I don't know very well about it. Now, Hamamatsu and Bentenjima's location in basically the middle of Japan mean this is a pretty common place to have gatherings and meet, and people actually come from pretty far away just to meet up. For example, today they are hosting a Mini Day convention where Mini Cooper owners from all over Japan come here where I live to gather and hang out and show off their minis. Now, as I've mentioned in a previous video, one of the reasons that Julie and I decided to travel around the world is to see if there's anywhere where we would like to live besides here in Japan or where I'm from in California. And to be honest, where we are now is a pretty nice place, but one of the downsides about this area is that because of its location and relatively nice weather and relatively nice views. It means this is a pretty expensive, relatively expensive part of Japan. Julie and I kind of want to move a little bit further into the countryside so that we can do a little bit of gardening and have some animals and things like that. That means that this place, as nice as it is, probably isn't such a good fit for that kind of living. But that said, this is kind of our baseline for what to compare other places to. Bentenjima is, as you can see, close to the mountains, close to the water, swimmable in summer, doesn't really snow in winter, although it does get a little chilly. Great seafood and pretty convenient access to public transportation. So this is our standard to beat. There it is. As you can see, probably right over there, that's where the water comes in from the ocean and fills up into the back towards the mountains. This is Editor Trevor here, and there's a couple things I forgot to mention about Bentenjima. First is this torii gate, which is located right in the middle of the entrance to Hamanako. And if you catch it at the right season, you can see the sunset right through it. Bentenjima is also a pretty popular destination for domestic tourists, especially in summer. In fact, the Summer Fireworks Festival here is one of the biggest in the area. And you can even see some exciting special handheld fireworks, which I'd love to try, but also look completely dangerous. Anyway, thank you for joining me for this little video about where we live now and what we're going to be comparing everything to once we start our trip. We've still got about 3 more months before we actually start our trip, so hopefully we'll have some time to explore a few more places here in Japan and talk a little bit about our plans. I don't know if you can hear the crow. He's yelling at me about being out here. Anyway, thank you for watching, and we'll see you at our next destination.